Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, welcome to Sharm el-Sheikh. I would like to welcome you all to this 27th session of the Conference of the Parties of the UNFCCC. As a COP president, allow me to express my thanks and appreciation to all of you for your confidence and trust placed in my country, Egypt, a confidence which was reflected by your choice of Egypt as a host country to this most important and biggest global event, as well as electing me to shoulder this huge responsibility, which I will fulfill whilst trusting that Egypt will receive your support in order to achieve together our goals. I confirm to you that Egypt shall spare no effort to achieve these goals, and we will work in order to ensure the best conditions, allowing all participants from all parties, governmental and non-governmental, to contribute to the success of this important event and to reach the results we all aim at. Allow me to also seize this opportunity to express my deepest appreciation to the United Kingdom government, the previous COP presidency, for all the efforts deployed during the presidency, as well as the efforts in order to promote climate action through the excellent performance by the UK presidency team led by my friend Secretary Alok Sharma. It was my pleasure to work with him for almost a year to ensure a smooth presidency handover, building on the political momentum of Glasgow last year, and to build upon the journey in order to reach the objectives we agreed upon and the results we aim at. Ladies and gentlemen, our conference, which starts today, is the 27th session in a 30-year journey we started together in the life of the UNFCCC. A journey that is continuous, that has proven to be relevant and important, and during which we became more cognizant of the threats that are around us, more aware of the science and the risk impacts revealed by science, and more convinced by what we should do in order to overcome these challenges and threats today and as of this moment. Egypt is determined to pursue this journey here in Sharm el-Sheikh so that our conference will become a milestone in a long journey of efforts and work so as to reach our final destination. To renew our commitments, to scale up our ambitions, and to seriously start the implementation and achieve collective bilateral action through efficiently dealing with the humanity's biggest challenge in modern times. All types of evidence undoubtedly show that climate change is a real threat to people's lives, wherever they live and in all forms. Science proves that the development track humanity has endorsed since the Industrial Revolution and until recently is no longer sustainable, and that if it will continue without any radical change, future generations will definitely face more serious consequences compared to those witnessed by current generations. Despite all goodwill, despite all the serious efforts, science confirms once again and through various reports, namely the IPCC report. So science confirms that we are still facing growing gaps, whether keeping up with the Paris Accord climate target or adapting with the negative impacts of the climate change, or also providing necessary finance so that developing countries can fulfill their role. We have witnessed during this year painful events in Pakistan, in the African continent, and in various parts of Europe and America. All these events and their destruction and impact represent a lesson to be learned and a sounding alarm all over the planet, a wake-up call to inviting us to more precaution and to act quickly to take all necessary measures as per our commitments and pledges. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clear to all of us that our conference is held this year amid political tensions that left their deep impact on all our countries, namely the crisis in energy and food supplies. If some people think that such challenges will hamper international collective action in the field of climate action, on the contrary, we here in Sharm el-Sheikh need to prove the contrary. That's why I invite you all to show the whole world that we are aware of the challenge awaiting us and that we have the political will to counter it. That's why we have constantly called for moving from negotiations and pledges to an era of implementation as a priority, as well as the acceleration of implementation of what we have agreed upon with the UNFCCC, promoted in the Paris Accord and the work program, while mentioning the importance of scaling up ambitions according to the country's capacities and natures of their resources. I would like to commend the countries that have updated their NDCs, including Egypt, and I represent you all. I trust I speak on behalf of all of you when I call upon countries to do the same, especially that the NDC synthesis report revealed that the current level of ambitions is not up to the Paris goals. In this context, it is worth mentioning that for the sake of an efficient implementation of pledges and commitments, we need a more efficient and wider participation by all relevant parties from non-state actors, whose role is equally important to that of the role of the states, namely private sector, banks, international finance institutions, civil society, youth associations, indigenous associations, and others. In this context, my country, Egypt, while preparing this conference, has been adamant on engaging in consultations with all these parties, including them in all events and meetings, be it pertaining to the presidency initiatives or thematic days, or also the preparations for the Sharm el-Sheikh Implementation Summit, which will start its meetings tomorrow at the level of heads of states and governments.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I assume my presidency of the COP, I draw your attention to two undeniable facts. First, climate change-related efforts over the past decades were remarkably polarized, which has slowed down progress of the negotiations. Second, the current mobilization efforts raise many concerns. The $100 billion a year pledge has not yet been implemented. Also, the financing currently available focuses on curbing emissions and not adaptation efforts. Also, most of the financing is based on loans. I believe that you agree with me when I say that we do not have the luxury of continuing in this way. We have to change our approaches to this existential threat. We have to work diligently and honestly and listen to one another, and also listen to the concerns of other parties and understand them. And also we have to work to reach consensual solutions that can be implemented. Ones that prove that we are serious about not leaving anyone behind. Ladies and gentlemen, despite the threats we still face, humanity still has a chance to overcome this hard stage. That if we have the political will to work together in unison. Today, there are many proofs to this. For instance, renewable energy sector is witnessing an unprecedented forward leap. Its prices are now remarkably lower. Also, the technologies of adaptation have also developed remarkably. And the past few years have seen an increased awareness amongst communities and amongst young people. They are now more aware of the threats posed by climate change and more determined to work with this issue innovatively and effectively. The contribution of civil society has also increased. People in think tanks have been mobilized, women have been mobilized, local governments as well have all been mobilized. This proves that we still have a chance to overcome this threat that actually jeopardizes the lives of millions and all over Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, Sharm el-Sheikh Implementation Summit starts. The leaders of the world will flock to this venue to express their commitment to face up to climate change and to work for a better future where we can live without this existential threat. Steps away from the venue where our leaders convene, 2 weeks of important negotiations and deliberations will start. These negotiations will hopefully be fruitful. I call upon all of you to listen carefully and to commit to implementation and to turn political commitment that will be expressed tomorrow and the day after into agreements and understandings and texts and resolutions that we can all implement. I call upon all of you to fully be aware that we are not just embarking on negotiations that are detached from reality. I would like to tell you that zero-sum games would have no winners. Our mission is much loftier than this. The implications and the effects of our work will affect the lives and livelihoods of millions of people around the world who have been suffering of the impacts of climate change. So we cannot afford any negligence or shortcomings. We cannot threaten the future of coming generations of our sons and grandsons and daughters. I am fully aware that you know the magnitude of the challenge and that you have the will to work to combat it effectively. It is high time that we worked and implement. Let's implement together for the sake of humanity and our planet. Thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you and for the success of this conference. Thank you.